On March 6, 2007, federal agents from the Immigration Customs Enforcement Agency descended upon New Bedford, Massachusetts, in one of the most high-profile workplace raids in recent years. 361 undocumented workers were arrested at Michael Bianco Factory, a company that made backpacks for the military. The vast majority of workers were from Central America, including Juana Garcia from Guatemala.
Cuando llegaron, era como las 8:15, algo así que llegaron. Nos dio un gran susto porque de un principio entraron un grupo encapuchado a la cara. Creía que estaban buscando a alguien que de verdad que era un delincuente. Empezaron a decir alto, que no, nadie se movía, y empezaron a sacar las pistolas. Entonces ahí donde nosotros nos asustamos más porque creía que iban a disparar a toda la gente ahí.
There were a number of agents that stormed in there, an initial team that was like a SWAT team. Some people had said it's almost as if they had found bin Laden at the Bianco factory.
Hubo alguien dentro de la compañía ese día en la mañana, me llamó, me dijo que estaba escondido en una caja, que por favor si le podía ayudar. Me dijo por teléfono que había un helicóptero en el edificio y un helicóptero alrededor del edificio.
From the government's perspective, workplace raids are an essential component to enforcing immigration law.
You have to have workplace raids. The odds may be against any one person or any one plant being raided tomorrow, but you need to have enough raids so that nobody's quite sure whether it's going to happen to them. Point is, how do you leverage the arrests that you do make to encourage other people, either illegal immigrants to go home, those who aren't here to give up trying, and employers to start following the rules? And one of the ways you do that is by having high-profile raids. In the past couple of years, there's actually been an increase in enforcement because the White House finally realized that the government had no credibility in enforcement.
The recent increase in high-profile raids like Bianco has underscored some of the challenges and moral implications of workplace raids. In New Bedford, many of those taken into custody were young mothers, some still breastfeeding. On the morning of the raid, Juana Garcia's 2-year-old son Jason woke up sick.
Her son suffers from asthma, and she went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning with the hope that she could ask permission of her supervisor to be released to be able to take her son to the doctors. And as you can imagine, when the raid started around 8:15, she never had the opportunity to leave work.
Entonces y de ahí es donde yo empecé a hablar con ellos que si me podrían sacar porque tenía un niño enfermo. Lo único que le dije de que quería salir por fuera a venir a ver al niño.
The most distressing experience for the women was being taken away and not knowing what was going on with their children. I mean, many of them, the children were either in daycare or they were in the school. They didn't know if the fathers were informed, and that sense of not knowing what the children was just devastating.
After the raid, Juana and many of the other workers were flown from New Bedford, Massachusetts, to a detention center in Texas to begin deportation hearings.
Bueno, al llegar, no, porque nos llevaban amarradas de las cadenas aquí de la cintura, de los pies a la cintura y de las manos. Entonces, en ese rato todas las mujeres empezábamos a hablar que por qué nos estaban tratando así, que nosotros no éramos un delincuente y no estábamos haciendo nada. No sé si vamos a llegar vivos donde nos van a llevar.
I think the longer that they stayed detained, it was again that sense of humiliation, of frustration, powerlessness. So it was just a horrible, horrible experience.
In the aftermath of the raid, community members in New Bedford came together at Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish, offering free services and goods to the families affected.
We had all these, any number of men who were single parents overnight. People were showing up with formula, and people kept showing up with food, and different churches were gathering together, and you know, there's just that visceral anger that the government would do something so horrific.
You know, starting with the Irish in the 19th century, this area has been a magnet for immigrants. 20 years ago, there was a huge influx of Asians, you know, Vietnamese and Chinese, and they're now sort of on the wane, and the new wave is Latin Americans.
I really see the new immigrant community a continuation of our history. Whether you talk about textiles to other kinds of manufacturing to the fishing industry, it's always dependent upon newcomers to our community.
There's a way in which I think all those experiences, in reality, I think played into people's feelings that this is outrageous. This is our community. They're, you know, ripping 300 people out of our community. What's happening to the children? What's happening to people? I think it resonated.
As the public's outpouring of support grew, demonstrations took place and donations to families reached the tens of thousands.
I am at Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish, which is where many of those arrested worshiped. The governor has arrived just a few moments ago. He is now meeting privately with family members affected by the raid.
Stories of humiliation, of fear, of anxiety and uncertainty that reflect, I think, for me, not what this country at its best is about.
As a result of pressure from the public, the Department of Social Services, and government officials, many young mothers, including Juana, were released from Texas and allowed to return to New Bedford to await deportation hearings. Juana was detained a total of 9 days. One year later, former Bianco workers and the larger New Bedford community continue to grapple with the fallout of the raid. Juana's son Jason hasn't been the same since she left.
Se levanta de un solo. A veces está bien dormidito y él siente que como que alguien le está agarrando los pies. Jale de un solo y se asusta y se queda sentada, se levanta.
So he's got nosebleeds, he's having trouble sleeping, and he jumps in his sleep.
Desde que llegué, veía a mi niño que él ya no me podía reconocer, como que él me tenía miedo ya. Y después cuando el niño empezó a reconocerme, ya no quería que la dejara sola.
From a child's development point of view, you can only imagine how confusing it is that this person who's been the closest person to me in my life, suddenly she's gone, and I don't really understand why she's gone. Those separations leave a scar in children, and there's always going to be a fear there that something like this could happen again.
Cada vez que veía que yo me preparo, me dice que no, mamá, no vas porque yo no quiero que policía viene por ti, me dice. Y desde que tenía 1 año hasta los 2 años, no tenía eso. Después, cuando yo salí de la cárcel, cuando el niño empezó a ser así.
When was the raid?
It was March 6th, and he was to go to the health center that morning, but she was taken into custody and fought to get back. It took her about 9 days to get back.
So is the idea that this may have started at about that time?
Many former Bianco workers still suffer from the psychological effects of the raid too.
estamos pensando de que cuando vaya alguna familia al trabajo, estoy pensando que no sé si volvería a ver en la tarde o ya no, pero porque cada vez que a veces yo veo algunos FBI en la calle, yo siento que como que fuera la migración y me siento bien temeroso de ver esas personas. Que no hay donde de irnos a refugiarnos.
Juana's deportation hearing is scheduled for some time in 2009. In the meantime, she has chosen to speak out about her experience in the raid.
Now I'd like to have Juana Garcia.
Gracias por el tiempo que me dieron para hablar un poco de la historia.
Thank you so much for this time to talk a little bit about my story.
I think it is unique that Juana is willing to step forward and to speak on behalf of these other mothers. She had told me that if it's to prevent another mother going through what she had to go through, then it's worth it to put herself out there to be able to tell her story.
Mi hijo lo está sufriendo todavía.
And I just wanted to ask for an end to the raids because my son is still continues to suffer.
These are not criminals. These are individuals who are sacrificing their lives just for the benefit of their families and their children.
Other people object, well, they're just hardworking people, why don't you, pick on criminals? Well, the fact is, they're illegal aliens. Illegal immigrants are moral actors. They knew what they were doing was illegal, and they're complaining about law being enforced. And all I can say is, too bad.
Yo quisiera de que no sucediera a las demás personas lo que yo estoy sufriendo, porque esa situación, lo que yo estoy sufriendo, yo veo muy difícil.
These people are hardworking, who really want to be here, who are law-abiding, who pay taxes, and they deserve to be treated better than they are.
We see a continuation of harsh conditions in the workplace, a crackdown on immigrants. It's unacceptable. I don't know where it's going to lead. In order for this situation to be resolved, we really need to look at the myriad of ways that the immigration system is broken in this country.
To have them, as they were in Bianco, rounded up like cattle and shipped off willy-nilly is just, is it legal? Well, I guess it is. Is it right? No.